Hello everyone, and welcome to my first build video. This is going to be for a Magic Dragon Knight that I've been playing for the past while and having a lot of fun with. It's got a little bit of a twist, I suppose. I'm going to start off with going into the skills. What we've got here is pretty basic setup, I suppose. Volatile armor. Every DK should have it. Every DK should run it. You could run the other morph. Do as you please. This is also going to make sure that you keep your heals up. Make sure that this buff is active at all times. If this is down, you're probably in trouble. Dragonfire scale. I've decided to go with this morph instead of the one that removes any snares, as we do have another form of snare removal on this build, and this maintains damage. As when people throw projectiles at you, it returns damage to them. Seems pretty strong so far. Coagulating blood is going to be our big burst heal. It's very strong. It gives us more health recovery while it's active. There you go. We're running igneous weapons, as we are a melee range build and we are using melee weapons. This is going to give us the extra major brutality along with the spell damage that we're obviously going to make use of. Cauterize is our nice little heal over time. It also keeps the spell crit up on the back bar, which allows all of our heals to hit just that little bit harder. And I've decided to go with Temporal Guard here, keeping with the idea of having major protection, and this is a defense on this bar. That's what this is for. So having minor protection at all times is a very good way to keep that up. We don't cast this, as it does not play well with the passive Battle Roar. You do not restore resources when you use Temporal Guard. It simply rewinds you back to where you were resource-wise, as far as I know. In my slight bit of testing with it, it didn't seem like it was returning resources outside of what I had 4 seconds ago. So this is purely for defensive purposes. Now onto the front bar. We're running Race Against Time. This is going to be our snare removal. This is going to be our mobility. This is going to be minor force for 12 seconds. It's a very strong skill, and it also got that snare removal buff this recent patch, so it's almost a no-brainer to run this if you have room for it. I've decided to go with Stone Giant here. This build does not use any dots, and playing within melee range, yes, I could have used Petrify. This provides me with a lot more burst damage with the current combo that I've got going on. The current combo being to apply... Okay, we'll get there. And I'm going with Inner Light. This also maintains our the extra spell critical that we get on the front bar, as well as giving us a little bit more max magic and some recovery for the fact that it's a Mage's Guild skill. If you have your Mage's Guild skill line maxed out, then you'll receive extra recovery just for having this slotted. It's a nice little bonus. Flame Lash, I've decided to stick with this morph as it just flat out the heal that you get from it is very nice. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There is the other morph where you can ramp up the damage a little bit over time, but since we're not running any other of those abilities, it doesn't really apply in this case. You still can get the heal from using Stone Giant. You knock somebody over, you light attack them, puts them off balance, you whip them, you will get this heal. Still very, very strong. An elemental weapon. This is the wild card, you could say, of this particular setup. My main damage combo when trying to just, surprise somebody would be to apply elemental weapon, light attack, immediately hit them with Stone Giant, and then light attack, and then begin whipping. Stone Giant hits for 100% more damage on CC'd opponents, or if you knock them over with the ability, then it deals 100% more damage. Fully buffed, this skill does not have a laughable tooltip by any means. A 6.4k tooltip, plus 100% more damage, you're looking at close to 13k. Yeah, yeah. Stone Giant, it does very good damage, and it also gives you the extra spell and physical resistance, which is always nice. Elemental Weapon is very nice in the as an opener. You don't want to get caught spamming this. If you do not use the ability, like if you apply it and you do not actually hit the target with it, it will just cost you the magic. It will refund some of it, but not enough of it. This ability is about having a very strong opener and applying the burning, concussion, or chilled elemental effects. That's where the big play and the surprise comes in with this particular ability on this build. Ferocious Leap, you cannot go wrong. I do have a video, which I could link in the description, of some clips from a stream where I was playing this exact setup, and I was running Onslaught for a little bit of it. I do not have this ability fully maxed out, but it can be fun on a DK, because if you kill somebody with this ability, you get all of the ultimate back, as well as restoring the resources for using the ultimate. So, fully leveled up, I may give this a go again. We'll see what happens with that. On to the gear. I've decided to go with Julianos on the front bar here, with a precise greatsword. I'm running a shock damage glyph. Shock damage is a very, very strong status to be applying, and concussion allows you to deal 8% more damage to your target, so very, very strong. I've gone with Julianos for the greatsword as well as the jewelry. I'm running Nightmares. This happens to be a Spinner's Pierce, the named drop. For the sword and shield, it's strictly for the physical resistance on the back bar. You can also craft Death's Wind. This will achieve the same effect. It's just to get more physical resistance on the back bar, as we are in 5 light armor for this build. I'm running 2 heavy Slime Craw, which both have health glyphs on them. We do want to keep the health up. I could try and swap out more tri-stack glyphs, but I've decided to stick with Slime Craw. This also plays well with our spell critical, which is up, our weapon critical, which is just nice to have in this particular instance, since we are a melee build. And I've decided to go with 5 Bright Throats on the body. I've gone with tri-stack glyphs on all the pieces, as Bright Throats kind of fall short in the stamina category. So that's just kind of compensating for the idea. You're going to get plenty of max magic running Bright Throats. You don't need to worry about having magic glyphs on everything. In keeping with compensating for the lack of stamina, I am also a Dark Elf, which plays very, very well with this build. For the jewelry, I decided to go with Arcane on all of the pieces, as well as 1 recovery glyph with 2 spell damage. Right, onward to the champion points. Not too much has changed defensively. I'm not going to really go into too much detail here. A lot of this remains as what it was last patch. If anything, light armor focus might be something that I don't know if many people are into running a lot of points into. But again, physical damage is where light armor builds tend to suffer. Or, sorry, physical resistance is where light armor builds tend to suffer. So I'm trying to just kind of even that out. A little bit of reduction into heavy and light attack damage taken, strictly because everybody's weaving. I do believe that putting several points in here is always going to benefit you. 72 Warlord, a little bit into Siphoner. Again, you can play around with these as you would like. We are a melee build, sort of. We might not be making use of a lot of stamina, but you do have a sword and shield. You will find yourself blocking, but don't make a point of tanking away, because that's not what this is for. This is a bursty build. It's not a tanky build. Again, in keeping with that, we got some block cost reduction. And it's a good idea to roll dodge. Your wings are not reflecting anything anymore. Keep that in mind. Damage-wise, we're trying to make sure that we keep the penetration up. Got to keep our own heals up. And it's a good idea to keep a lot of the extra critical damage modifier in there, because we are running a decent spell critical, sorry. And I am running the Shadow Stone as well to up the critical damage. 81 into Master at Arms, and just 3 into Physical Weapon Expert. And that's just where they fit. They wouldn't really add up to anything special anywhere else, unless I were to put them. I could put them into Spell Erosion. But at the time, here we are. Master at Arms. Everything is direct damage. We have no dots on this build. That's why there are no points into Thaumaturge. Other than that, that's pretty much the setup, guys. I hope that you give it a try. It's different, it's fun, and yeah, if you give it a shot, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it, and you can come by the stream. I'm streaming on Twitch. I'll put a link down in the description. Come by and say hi. Let me know what you think about the build. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and have a good day. Bye-bye.